Check 1 2 1 2. Welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. #1 commentary channel on YouTube, and we're live for another episode of Morning MMA. And after today, we're gonna call it Fight Time. So Fight Time with Miller DC. That's gonna be the new name for the podcast. We've been experimenting with a couple things, and we've been wondering on how we could improve the chat and how we could improve the live stream and adding more elements to the channel. Because again, feel pretty strongly about this. Slowly but surely, we're going to bring you the best interviews, the best podcasts, the best videos, the best shorts. We're going to be the #1 guy in town as far as having, the best, predictions, the best opinions on what should happen next, matchmaking, all that, guys. That's the plan, guys. We're working harder than anyone else out there, and I feel like the results are showing. We're almost at 8,000 subscribers. So if you're new here, if you just clicked on the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. #1 commentary channel on YouTube. Plenty on the menu today as far as what we're going to be discussing. The phone number is 267-545-8096 if you want to share your thoughts on the topics at hand, which is Adesanya pleads guilty to drunk driving. Colby Covington versus Leon has been confirmed. Pereira versus Prohaska, another fight that's confirmed. UFC 295, 296 is, at the end of the day, 295 not so much, 296 I love, but in general, the UFC is doing a great job. And also, we're going to be talking about, does Ferguson deserve Pimblett? Does Pimblett deserve Ferguson? All that and more in today's episode. So make sure you guys hit the thumbs up, 267-545-8096 in order to share your thoughts on all this news. Let me catch up with chat, and then we'll head right into the first topic for today. Eddie Rodriguez was the first one in the chat. So to that, I say thank you. What's up, Eddie? Good morning. And good morning, Merchant with the silver glove. You can also become a member today, guys. Let me make sure I put that link in the chat. You can become a member today. Helps the channel out immensely. I see Merchant, Eddie Rodriguez, Hito in the chat. So, guys, thank you for being here nice and early. Let's get right to the breaking news. Adesanya pleads guilty to drinking and driving. Now, Adesanya pleading guilty to drinking and driving. When I first saw this, I thought to myself, man, this guy's taking the laws pretty badly. I mean, to be doing this right after his fight against Sean Strickland. Then I come to find out that happened 3 weeks before the fight with Strickland. And it made me wonder, let's see how this plays out. Plenty to say about that event itself. But the first thing I thought was, I wonder what the Adesanya fans are going to say. The Beta Quest, the Snipies, the Hitos, maybe the Merchants, I don't know. What are people going to say about Adesanya losing to Strickland in relation to this event that just transpired? Are they going to say, listen, this is proof that he wasn't focused, that he wasn't ready for Strickland, he wasn't taking him serious? I see a little bit of that online, not too much. Even more so, what I thought about more, and we can talk about whether he's burnt out, and that's why we see him doing things like that, which is strange as well too, because he has criticized John Jones before for his reckless way of living. And as time progresses, I mean, I guess it's somewhat biblical, before you look at the speck of your neighbor's eye, take out the log in yours. It almost sounds like old King James version, KJV. But maybe Adesanya went too hard on John Jones, not realizing, listen, John Jones was at the top of the division, at the top of the world, essentially the baddest man on the planet. When you have that kind of ego, when you know these things are somewhat true, that you could, in a fair fight, beat anyone, almost, in a sense, right? Maybe one doesn't come without the other. Mike Tyson, again, at the top of the world at one point in his career, he lived kind of reckless. John Jones as well too. There's something that comes with knowing that I guess you can beat almost anyone in a fair fight if there's no weapons and if it's just straight fisticuffs, toe to toe. And John Jones had it a little bit earlier than Adesanya too, as far as age, the title defenses, as far as the undefeated record, where Adesanya did suffer a loss, something John Jones didn't do. Adesanya suffered a loss against Pereira back in kickboxing. Maybe that was good for him. Now, Looking forward. What's up, Torrin Brown? Welcome to the stream. My guy, the man, the myth, the legend. Voicemail left on 296. Wait for it when you get on that topic. We'll do. Thank you so much for leaving a voicemail. Make sure I'll get right to it. I must be having a problem with voicemails. Okay, there it is. Now it just came up. Oh, that's where Chris Faith left his last time. Anyways, Chris Faith, if you hear me out there, I'll make sure I get to yours as well too. John Jones had his stardom a little bit early. Adesanya gets, he pleads guilty. Now in the U.S., there's really no, I believe, jail time. According to a message that Hito sent me that I'll tell you right now. I've read it earlier. He's not sentenced yet. He just pled guilty, but max fine is $4,500 and 3 months in jail. In America, there will be no jail time, but I don't know how his country is. We'll see how strict they are over there. And I'm sure it helps that he's a star. But what is going on with Adesanya? 3 weeks before a fight, another title defense. Is it his biggest fight of his career? Maybe we can't say that. That's a little bit far-fetched. Maybe. And I'm not saying I subscribe to this idea, but I'm just playing devil's advocate. Maybe he wasn't taking Sean Strickland serious enough, and that's why he's out there drinking and driving, having a good time, just kind of carrying life in a way that he sees fit. Maybe he felt somewhat untouchable like John Jones when he was hitting pregnant women on the freeway before trying to run away and he was doing coke and all that. Maybe Adesanya was getting a sense of, listen, Sean Strickland doesn't stand a chance. I just beat Pereira in a rematch. I don't keep score. I settle them. I'm never really going to get caught. Maybe he overlooked Sean Strickland, and maybe he was overlooking the seriousness of drinking and driving. And the strange thing about that as well too is I never really understood until, again, I'll retract on this a little bit, but if you're rich, if you're broke, I get it. Maybe you can't afford an Uber. Maybe there's not enough in a bank account to even call one up. But if you're rich and you have millions of dollars, I think you could probably even Uber a Rolls Royce. You can Uber a Hummer for all I know. You could probably Uber whatever vehicle you might want. I'm sure you have plenty of friends that you can call up and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to leave the McLaren parked. I'm going to leave the $250,000 car parked, whatever you got pulled over in. And hey, come pick me up. I'll slide you a few bucks. It's very strange that, again, stars like Tyson, like John Jones, I'm not saying Adesanya is in that bracket of crazy, but I do think it's a little bit strange of how he has criticized John Jones before for living recklessly. And this is one side. Now, if you guys go to his YouTube channel as well too, he didn't really give an excuse about his performance against Strickland. Besides, he should have ate breakfast maybe. But there was really no, he was just talking in circles a bit. Is this a sign that maybe he's not taking the fight game serious or as serious as he should? And what I want to see come out of this, to be quite honest, is he's been a very active champion. Let's see if we pull up his record here. Since he has gained the title and he's lost it and he's gained it back. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. It's right here. He has been very active. Look, in 2023 has already fought twice. In 2022, three fights in 2022, 2 fights in 2021. He's a very active champion. 2 fights in 2020, at least minimum 2 times a year Adesanya has been fighting. At least. Sometimes 3 times. And he has defended the title, has gone a full 5. Yes, some of his fights have not been the most entertaining, to say the least. He has had some stinkers, right? The Strickland fight was a little boring, besides Strickland knocking him down. That fight was entertaining because of Sean Strickland and in spite of Adesanya. The Cannonier fight, unanimous decision, wasn't the most impressive or entertaining. Robert Whittaker, the Vittori's, he's had some boring fights. I've seen people maybe take it a bit too far and saying he's one of the most boring champions. I wouldn't go that far, but he has had fights against, or has had fights like the Yoel Romero fight, the Costa fight. He got him out of there pretty quickly, but he's essentially a counterpuncher, and it's tough for me to kind of figure out. Was he not focused heading into the Sean Strickland fight? Or was his style of fighting simply a style that Sean Strickland could capitalize in? Because he was looking to counter strike and he couldn't find his jab. You saw him talking to his corner. I can't find my jab. And maybe Sean Strickland is that good of of being patient in that Philly shell to kind of press the pace. Is it that the stylistic matchup was tough? Or is it that he simply doesn't care anymore? 267-545-8096. You can share your thoughts. Let me catch up with chat in a little bit. Eddie Rodriguez says, he even said it during the press conference. Says Eddie, hey, I'm great. The UFC dropped a fire card for 296. He overlooked Strickland, says Hito. Torrin Brown says, I know you guys are going to call me delusional, but I really feel Tony Ferguson has a chance, I'm assuming you meant, at beating Paddy, considering Paddy isn't that good of a fighter. His stand-up is garbage. Stand-up defense too. Listen, I'm the first one to tell you, I don't know if I'm picking Ferguson. I don't think I am, but I don't think you're delusional. I'll admit. I do believe Ferguson has a chance. He might even get the job done and retire. I think that's the best possible outcome for him. We'll talk about that a bit more, Torrin, in a little bit. 267-545-8096 if you want to share your thoughts on what's going to happen between Paddy and Tony Ferguson. Hey, yo, I just caught a crazy out of context clip. I guess we'll see soon, Hito. Like John Jones when he was hitting pregnant women. I'm with you, Torrin. Listen, Tony Ferguson might get the job done. Back to Adesanya, before we head over to 295 and 296, what I want to see come out of this for Israel Adesanya, I'll be honest, I think the best thing is he desperately needs a break. He has been active. Maybe that fight against Pereira was the beginning of him maybe overlooking Strickland, drinking and driving. He beat his biggest villain. You know, he's into the anime, and maybe he's the hero in his own story, right? He's his favorite anime character, I guess. But he defeated his greatest villain. And maybe after that, he was supposed to fight Duplessis, who he was excited about. Dricus wasn't able to be prepared in time to fight Adesanya. Maybe he was overlooking Sean Strickland a little bit. And that's why you see the drinking and driving. That's why you see Adesanya maybe not doing so well against Sean Strickland. Even though, in my opinion, what frustrated me most about that Sean Strickland fight and Adesanya is he didn't really go for broke. And maybe that's another sign that he simply doesn't care. What I mean by that is he had to know going into the 5th round that he was losing. And even then, he didn't put his foot on the gas. He didn't, take one to land one, where that's essentially what he had to do to win that fight. It was Adesanya always like that? Or is that another sign that he's just, his mind and his heart is not in anymore? Drinking and driving, beating Pereira, not going for broke in the 5th round against Sean Strickland. Are all those signs that he's mentally not all the way there? Or is Sean Strickland just a better fighter? And we can maybe even talk about Strickland moving on. Let's catch up with chat before we get into one of our first calls, and we'll talk about Paddy Pimblett versus Tony Ferguson. He doesn't know how to lose, says Hito. Snipey says, I'm with you, Torrin. Torrin says that UFC 296 main card looks good. I want to see if I could pull it up for you guys. Because it is on paper is one of my favorite cards. Look what we have here. Leon Edwards, Alejandro Pantoja versus Brandon Royval. So 2 title fights, the Leon Edwards and Colby Covington. I can't wait to talk about. I can't wait to give you guys my prediction. Most are going to hate me. I feel pretty strongly, and I'm almost taking all bets. I feel strongly on who's going to win, and it might surprise you. We'll talk about that shortly. 2 title fights, Pantoja Royval, Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington. Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett. Another shocker of a fight. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Stephen Thompson. Stephen Thompson was supposed to fight Ian Gary as far as that's what the UFC was trying to make. Stephen Thompson doesn't take the fight, and they reward him with a Shavkat Rakhmonov. That's a tough fight, man. But without further ado, let's get to one of the first voicemails of this morning, or some of you out there might be the evening or even nighttime. Thank you guys for supporting all over the world. Let's get to one of our first calls after we read the rest of chat. Stand on it, Miller. Who you got, Paddy or Ferg? We're going to talk about it right after your voicemail. Izzy should probably just retire. He's not going to go out on a loss to Sean Strickland. So even if he should have, I don't think it's going to happen. And I don't think he should. I think he's still in the prime of his career in a sense. I think he hit his ceiling with his coach already. He should probably experiment a new camp. I mean, he's been with CKB this whole time. I don't think he'll get out of there. He did look gun shy. I have mixed feelings about Eugene. So do I, Eddie. Hito says the UFC messed up. They should have waited to announce 296. They stole away what little momentum 295 had. Maybe they add some fights to 295. It's still not too late. They did Wonder Boy dirty. I agree, Snipey. Again, I feel like it's a little strange that Wonder Boy was supposed to fight Michel Pereira. That gets canceled. He declines the Ian Gary fight. Remember, he made weight for the Michel fight, and he fights Shavkat Rakhmonov in return. I thought he should have got the Usman fight. I thought that would have been fair. He doesn't get that one. Ian Gary and Luque been added. I saw that as well too. That has also been added to 296. Did they actually put it on the? They didn't put it on the website, but I saw that as well too. Without further ado, let's get to the first voicemail that we have today. Again, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up if you're new here. Let me make sure the sound settings and everything is good. We'll try to keep it to an hour, but I doubt that's going to happen because there's so much to talk about. Let's see what we have here. So this is Hito 609 from Trenton, New Jersey.
About 296 real quick. I'll probably call a bunch of other times depending on how many topics you hit, but 296 I want to talk about right quick.
And he wants to talk about 296 real quick. We can jump around with topics. Let's get right to it.
I love the card. I think the card is stacked. Now let's look at this from like...
On paper, it is arguably the best card of the year. And of course, they're saving it for towards the end of the year. So it makes sense. But on paper, might be. Now, as far as how the fights play out is a whole different story.
A casual perspective, though. Is it stacked for a casual fan? In the beginning, some might say no. But then they added the GOAT and saved the card for the casual fans. It wasn't just Colby and Leon now. It's a stacked card because Paddy the Baddy's on there.
Here we go, guys. Paddy the Baddy. Freaking Hito's favorite fighter. I knew it was coming. Something strange as far as a bad take. And there it is.
Not only that, you have a stack card.
We're going to be talking about Paddy versus Ferguson right in a few seconds. That's going to be what we're going to focus on since Hito had to bring it up.
UFC junkies, you got a stack card for the casual fans because Paddy the Baddy is on there.
Paddy the Baddy Pimblett, which, quite honestly, is one of the worst monikers, nicknames in the UFC. Paddy the Baddy sounds a little bit soft. A grown man, a male, being referred to as Baddy, the Baddy. That's horrible, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know if I could think of a worse one. The bad, I mean, it rhymes, so he has that going for him. But people are overlooking. It sounds a little soft. Nonetheless, he's going to be getting Tony Ferguson. And I saw an interesting stat. Let me see if I can bring it up to you guys real quick. Paddy Pimblett, right? Let me see. Let's go to the good old Tapology. Paddy Pimblett, and this is where we break it to you. He's 4-0, but I believe he's on a 6-fight winning streak. Speaking of Paddy Pimblett, right? Now, Tony Ferguson, right? If this is correct, Tony Ferguson, why can't I get the Tapology? Tony Ferguson, let me see real quick. Okay, let's see if this is correct. Paddy Pimblett is on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-fight winning streak. Tony Ferguson is on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-fight losing streak. How is it that a man that goes 6-0 gets gifted a early Christmas present, and he gets to fight someone that has lost 6 fights in a row? A man that is up and coming now, also as well too. That fight against Jared Gordon was a robbery. I know that's beating a dead horse and bringing that fact up, but at the end of the day, I got to make sure I don't dox anyone. At the end of the day, Jared Gordon versus Paddy Pimblett. Paddy lost that fight. I think that's fair to say. I think we can agree that the judges got it wrong. I mean, Paddy Pimblett did hurt his foot in the first round. Maybe that's why he wasn't as effective. Maybe that's a good excuse. And you could even say, going onward, he might show improvement. This might be, quote unquote, his coming out party against Tony Ferguson. Now, it's sad because we're going from a Ferguson that at one point in his career, that was supposed to be the man to dethrone Khabib Nurmagomedov. What happened? That fight got canceled. And that fight got canceled about 4 or 5 times. He fights Justin Gaethje. And maybe Justin Gaethje is to blame for all of this. It's his fault, essentially. Gaethje beats the brakes off of Ferguson. That man was never the same again. And ever since, he has been taking L after L after L. He loses to Gaethje, then he loses to Oliveira, unanimous decision. He loses to Benio, unanimous decision. Michael Chandler's foot is still in his face somewhere. Loses to that by knockout. Nate Diaz, he looked, to me, the Bobby Green fight was bad, but the Nate Diaz fight was the fight that I saw. This guy has slowed down tenfold. It's just insane to see how much Ferguson has slowed down against Nate Diaz. Now he's going to be fighting Paddy Pimblett. Look, Paddy Pimblett's striking. Paddy the Batty. Horrible name, by the way. His striking is, or was, abysmal. We could be honest. Paddy Pimblett, as far as even against Jared Gordon, Paddy Pimblett striking against Jared Gordon, a lot of wide punches. His punches aren't straight. Yes, maybe he has the advantage in the grappling department against most fighters. Great grappling. That's what he's known for. But when it comes to the striking, it isn't good. So maybe that's where Tony Ferguson has a shot. Maybe Tony Ferguson, if he keeps his striking, maybe with his elbows, his long range, as far as him being a tall fighter in the lightweight division, as far as reach and height. Let's see if we could find this over here real quick. His reach, his height is 5'11", reach is 76.5. What is Paddy Pimblett? Paddy Pimblett is 5'10", 73. So he's going to have the height and reach advantage. But he has taken L after L after L. 267-545-8096. If you want to leave a voicemail on who you believe will win for 296 on Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett. Let's catch up with chat. Paddy versus Bryce would just be a funny fight. I would even have Bryce winning that, and I'm not the biggest Bryce fan. If you guys seen my latest video, people think that I'm a big Bryce fan. I had Topuria beating Bryce Mitchell. Topuria won. I had Dan Ige beating Bryce Mitchell. I thought it was pretty close, and they should have gave him maybe the decision as well too. Nonetheless, they gave it to Bryce Mitchell. But between both fighters, I would have Bryce Mitchell winning, sniping. Dana already said he wants to leave and retire already. Or Tony has said maybe this is his way to retire, and he's gonna need a win. I mean, you don't want to lose on you don't want to leave the UFC on a 7-fight losing streak, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. If he looks a shell of himself against Paddy. Now, my official prediction, early prediction, as much as I hate to say it, man, this hurts. This reminds me all over again of Sean O'Malley, Petr Yan, Sean O'Malley, Aljamain Sterling. I picked Petr Yan to beat Sean O'Malley. It was close. Still believe Petr Yan won if you rewatch the fight. But then I came to my senses and I thought, O'Malley, Sterling maybe feels he has something to prove. Sterling maybe feels he needs to strike with Sean O'Malley, and he's going to pay for that. And that's exactly what happened. He left his chin up in the air. I picked Sean O'Malley to beat Sterling. This reminds me of, the reason I bring that up is because it's Paddy Pimblett versus Tony Ferguson. As much as I don't believe in Paddy, his grappling is good. He's big at lightweight. He's strong. At this point in both of their careers, I can't logically and in good conscience, I can't pick Ferguson in my right mind. look at that fight against Nate Diaz. How slow he looked. He looked extremely slow. He was turning away against even Bobby Green. It looked like he didn't really want to be in there, or even, you know, the baseball slide that he does even before the fight. Even that looks slow. He looks like he's, if you guys see my my thumbnail, let me see if I bring up Tony Ferguson. Paddy Pimblett. Even look at his face as far as the eye test. The man looks like he's 57 years old. Oh, damn. I didn't mean to do that. Look how old he even looks there. He looks very old. He is old. And he has lost 6 fights in a row. You think they're going to be giving Paddy Pimblett Ferguson because they expect Paddy to lose? You think they're doing Ferguson any favors? Ferguson should have retired 3 fights ago. This is the way to get him to retire. Let's catch up with chat. Go Paddy the Batty. And it's sad because Hito's one of his biggest fans, but that makes me feel a little bit more nervous. If I'm picking Paddy and Hito is too, that's a little worrisome. Torrin Brown says, I think if Tony beats Paddy, he should fight at least one more time, then retire at UFC 300 against Paul Felder because it's coming back at UFC 300. Listen, I want to believe that Tony Ferguson gets it done. Torrin, I really do. I just don't think his striking, Paddy's striking isn't the best. Again, Paddy's striking isn't the best. Paddy's striking isn't impressive, but neither is Tony Ferguson. Ferguson is a bit slow. Now he got, again, Ferguson was supposed to be the submission specialist, and he got submitted by Bobby Green, who's also up there in age as well too. Now, the last fight that we saw Paddy Pimblett in was 2022 versus Jared Gordon. It was a controversial decision, right? Fair to say. Maybe he's a little bit overhyped. I mean, he's fought who? Jordan Levitt and Jared Gordon? Are those his best wins? One of them being controversial? Maybe Ferguson pulls it off. Maybe this is an upset. And we've seen so many upsets in the UFC where I wouldn't be surprised if Ferguson pulls it off. He is, I believe, a 4-1 underdog, something along those lines. Nonetheless, if I had to officially predict, I'm sad to say, I'm going Paddy Pimblett. I hate to say this because I would almost feel better about myself if it was if it were by decision. I'm gonna go Paddy Pimblett by I want to say first round submission. I might push it off to second round submission. I'm gonna go Paddy Pimblett second round submission, guys. That's my prediction, guys. I'm sorry. Let me know your guys' thoughts as far as how that fight is gonna end. I see some people picking Tony Ferguson. So how do you guys have it playing out? Paddy gets it done. Ferguson gets it done. Let me know. If Tony wins, how does he do it? Striking. Maybe Paddy stays striking with Ferguson, trying to prove a point as well too, because his striking looked a little bit off, abysmal against Jared Gordon. Maybe he tries to prove it against Ferguson and he gets clipped with a 1-2 by Ferguson. Ferguson maybe knocks him down, maybe hurts him, ground and pound, gets the win. I'm going to say round number 2 submission for Paddy Pimblett. Who wins at UFC? Yeah, and we'll do another poll, and then after this, we'll do another one. But Tony Ferguson by KO, Paddy by KO. 2 more. 1 second. Ferguson by decision or Paddy by decision. Go ahead and vote, and let me know what you guys think as far as who wins between Tony Ferguson and Paddy the Batty Pimblett. Let's move on to another topic right before we get to Colby Covington and Leon Edwards, which I can't wait to share my prediction with you guys. Again, I feel strongly about this. I said this earlier. But more breaking news. Prohaska versus Pereira. Sorry, I got a little bit of a stuffy nose. Prohaska versus Pereira was announced as well. Dana White is, look, at the end of the day, Love them or hate them, or love them or hate them, the UFC, nobody does it better. I mean, look at these announcements. Leon Colby, Paddy Ferguson, John Jones Stipe. I'm not too crazy about that. Pantoja Royval. We're also getting breaking news, Prochazka and Pereira. Early prediction for this one as well, too, guys. I will quickly say, Pereira, Prochazka. I was a big Hiri fan in the beginning. I thought his striking was great. He was losing against Glover Teixeira until Glover made a massive mistake and got submitted in the closing seconds of the last round. If it weren't for that, he was cruising into a decision. Nonetheless, Glover loses. Hiri hurts his shoulder. Jamal Hill fights Glover for the vacant belt. Jamal Hill beats Glover. Jamal Hill hurts himself in an Achilles injury in a basketball game. Now we find ourselves, so it almost feels like the WWE. Now we're going to get Prochazka and Pereira. Hiri, according to Dana and others, that was one of the worst shoulder injuries that they have ever seen. He's had a good amount of time off. His last fight for Hiri Prochazka was back in June 11th, 2022. So over a year. Now, if this were Pereira's first fight at light heavyweight, I would say, you know what? Prochazka, at the end of the day, he's explosive, a strong striker. Pereira moving up for the first time, even though he walks around pretty heavy and that's the weight he might have fought at in kickboxing. As far as the UFC, that would have been his first fight against the former champion Hiri. I would have maybe picked Hiri. But Pereira was able to get some experience going against Jan Blachowicz. He's big for the division as far as he was big for middleweight. He's a strong puncher. I think he's going to stay essentially striking. Pereira did a good enough job to nullify the takedowns against Blachowicz. All that to say, again, you guys can share your opinions, 267-545-8096. All that to say, I have Pereira beating Prochazka. And in the form that I would say it happens for 295, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I'm gonna say knockout or Pereira. I just feel that is gonna stay striking. Here he has had plenty of time off. Maybe his timing is off in the octagon. Pereira catches him cleanly. We know he has that knockout power. He's gonna feel full, replenished at 185. I'm sorry, at 205, I got Pereira by knockout. Let's catch up with chat. Happy Monday, says Leroy. Welcome to the stream, Leroy. How you doing today? If he could turn back time, if he could find Tony probably, yes. If he turns back the time somehow, he could probably get it done. Hito got like 9 alts. He's a savage, man. What's up, Hito, says Chris Faye. Tony time. Tony by sub all day. Let me see how you guys are voting. Ferguson by KO is a 71%. Paddy by KO is a 14%, which is quite interesting. Hito says I don't know why Hito is a huge Paddy fan, but he is. 999 in the building. What's up, I'm in class. I'm stopping by. So I'm stopping by just to say hi right now. 999, make sure you focus in class. Thank you for tuning in to the #1 commentary channel on YouTube. Let's go. Paddy wins, then they go to Ireland, and then you get Paddy on there. Listen, you have Paddy maybe fighting over there. Then you have Ian Gary as well, too, if he gets the job done against Vicente Luque, which is a tough fight. I believe they were training partners as well, too, so that makes it a little bit interesting. Snipey says, Tony does have to either submit or knock Paddy out. He isn't beating Paddy in a decision, even if he actually won all 3 rounds. And for that reason, again, if it's a close fight, they'll give it to Paddy Pimblett. I think Paddy's going to find the submission. If Bobby Green was able to submit Tony Ferguson, I think Paddy Pimblett could do the same. And it feels a little bit strange that I'm doing so, but nonetheless, that is what it is. We'll catch up with chat. Let me see. Let me refresh. I don't see any new voicemails. Are you sure? 267-545-096. Okay, I refreshed it. It came up. Let's play the next voicemail, and then after that I'll play yours, Chris. Let me also catch up with chat. I got Alex also says, Eddie, I think he controls the distance well and will snipe here. Yes, I think he's gonna find it's gonna be a dangerous game to just strike with Alex, and for some reason I feel here he's gonna do that. And for that reason I have Alex as well too. So Eddie, smart man. I have left 3 messages on voicemail today. I'll make sure I catch up in a second. He isn't a star, he is a dork. Dana is pushing. The crazy thing is, I believe he was in Thailand working on his striking. What if he comes out new and improved, has crisp punching, lands a 1-2, knocks out Ferguson? Maybe he's improved, but as of now, his striking was a bit abysmal, in my opinion. He's a star, that's why, Miller. And you know how I know that? Look how much the chat kept talking about him, even after you switched topics. Listen, he's a star at the end of the day. I'll give you that. Let's get on to the next. That doesn't make him a star. It makes him controversial enough to make Dana money, which is all that matters, though. Snipey as well, too. Let's get on to the next voicemail. Here we go.
Hito 609 again. Bro, come on. We're talking about the casual fans.
Here we go. Give me 1 second, chat. I apologize for that. You heard the frustration in Hito's voice. Let's see if it's merited. Here we go.
We're talking
Hito
about getting
609.
ass at the seat. Paddy is that guy as well. It's like you hate on them, right? But why should he?
Is it hate or is it truth? Damn, this is where I needed the clip that you sent me, Hito. Just because I pick against your favorite fighter doesn't mean I'm hating. It means you're a fanboy, something like that. Anyways, here we go.
Tony Ferguson, because he gets ass at the seat. Because he sells tickets, that's why. The guy.
I agree. Ito, you're right. He sells tickets. He puts asses in seat. But we're judging him based on his skills. Is he good enough? Sean O'Malley does the same. He attracts attention. He's controversial. But he has the striking to back it up. Does Paddy have the skills to back it up? Here we go.
He's like, he's a star. So what do you expect? Of course, they're going to give him Ferguson. Paddy's been off for a while. He just came off an injury. They want to get rid of Ferguson, let Paddy retire him, call it a day. Put some respect in the guy's name.
Put some respect on. Hito wants us to put some respect on the guy that was gifted a decision in his last fight. Can we admit, Hito, and anybody else in chat, can we admit that he lost his last fight? Can we at least meet at that middle ground that he was gifted a decision? Okay, he won the fight, but can we admit it was gifted? Can we at least meet halfway there? You tell me. Some of us care about fighting, though, Hollywood Hito. You know what? From now on, that will be his name. Hollywood Hito is a great moniker. Let's get to the next voicemail. 267-545-8096 if you want to share your thoughts on all the breaking news. Next voicemail. Here we go.
What's up, Melody C? This is Chris Faith talking. I just wanted to tell you that
Chris Faith in the building. I love the energy off rip. I love the energy off rip. Here we go.
From this past Saturday, and this is before or probably during the fight of Gamma versus Fazeev. When you had talked to that Shrek Milton, when you told him, what's awesome was that when you told him about how many verses are in Revelation, trust me, I know the answer because it's only 22. This guy decides to say 26. Are you kidding me? 26?
Not kidding you.
26 verses in the book of Revelation? Bro, I guarantee you never even read the book of Revelation. I guarantee you don't even know what it says at the very final verse of the book of Revelation. So talk about 26. Your new name is Shrek 26. Mr. Oh, I thought it was 20.
Your new name is Shrek 26. So we got Hollywood Hito as a nickname. We have Shrek 26. I like it.
In the book of Revelation. I guarantee you never went to biblical school in your time. And let me just say this. You know, I heard about the announcements of Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett.
Here we go. This is where we get some interesting intake on Chris Faith and what he believes as far as Paddy Pimblett, Tony Ferguson.
I don't care about that. I know Ferguson's gonna lose because he's shark bait.
I know Ferguson is gonna lose. Wow. I have to agree with Chris Faith.
I'm not rooting for him, but I know he's gonna win. Rachmanov versus Thompson.
That's another one that we haven't talked about as well either. Rachmanov versus Stephen Wonderboy.
I'm not doubting Shavkat Rakhmonov. I'm going for Shavkat Rakhmonov. He's gonna win, and I know Shrek Milton is saying.
I know you have Shavkat winning. I would love to see the upset and Wonderboy pull it off, but it's gonna be tough.
Oh, Wonderboy Thompson's gonna win. Oh yeah. Keep betting for him. Keep rooting for him. But my prediction is better than yours, Shrek.
And he calls him Shrek 26 is a great name, by the way. Let's catch up with chat a little bit as well too before we get to the next voicemail. So we back to Some of Us Care About Fighting. I'm dead. Chris is on fire. He came in with the energy. Let's see what else we have from
let
Chris
me
Faith.
say this. One last thing. So there were other events besides the UFC event, Bellator 299. Man, Leon Edwards' brother, Fabian Edwards, got
I saw that in Bellator.
dropped down by Johnny Eblin. I think I pronounced his last
Maybe Johnny Eblin finds himself in the UFC, but that guy is a dog.
name right. And after the fight was over, it's funny that Leon Edwards was gonna fight him. I'm like, yo. And that guy Johnny, he wasn't afraid. He was gonna smoke him too, like his brother. I'm like, OMG. And after that, there's new rumors going on saying that since Edwards' brother lost, it might affect Leon in his upcoming fight against Covington. I don't know about that. But that Chinese guy Zhang, when he knocked out Joe Joyce in the, 2-0 now.
Again.
He called out Tyson Fury. I don't see that fight happening.
Tough one, but maybe he deserves it. Probably won't get it.
And also, you know what's so funny? I remember 2 weeks ago when I put Shrek 26 Milton on blast. He didn't call back, but decided to call back almost 2 weeks later to you about Bryce Mitchell.
That's another topic we need to talk about. Bryce Mitchell. That was my latest video. Here we go.
And stuff. Well, hear me out. I'm not against the fact that Bryce Mitchell is a believer of Jesus and reads the Bible. I'm not against that. But it's funny how a guy like Shrek Milton wants to say Jesus, but okay, let me say this, Shrek Milton. This is a message, Shrek Milton.
Here we go.
What year? No, not what year. What country Jesus was born? What country?
This has become a Bible
study.
study.
Get it wrong, you're an idiot.
Well, if Trey answers, we'll see what he says. Before we get to 296 and 295 real quick, can we go back on what happened this weekend? Bryce Mitchell versus Dan Ige. We covered that live here on stream, which was a lot of fun. I appreciate everybody that came out. We're getting crazy good numbers for live streams, right? And I just wanted to quickly, we just hit 200 views on that, which is good. We're doing numbers, but if you guys don't mind, you guys can go check that out. That's over there, the video. You guys get the thumbs up and leave a comment over there. But again, Bryce Mitchell gets it done against Dan Ige. My argument real quick before we get to 295 and 296, and up next, the very next topic we'll be talking about is Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington. Again, I'm eager to share with you guys what I believe is going to happen, and I feel pretty strongly that I'm going to be proven right. But back to Bryce Mitchell versus Dan Ige. I was looking at the UFC rankings, right? Why do I feel? Tell me if this is a little bit far-fetched, wishful thinking, even though I'm not even a Bryce Mitchell fan like that. I think he's a little bit cuckoo in certain ways. But nonetheless, I was looking at the rankings of the featherweight division, right? Bryce Mitchell at number 10 beats number 12, Dan Ige. The face to the left of Alex Volkanovski. arguably the pound for pound best fighter in the world, is Sean O'Malley, right? Sean O'Malley. When he fought Petr Yan, I mean, I know the rankings look completely different. When Sean O'Malley fought Petr Yan, Sean O'Malley was number 11 or 12. Maybe someone can confirm to me what it was. I believe it was 11 or 12. It was one of the two. And he fought Petr Yan, who was number 1. So we can ask ourselves, why did Dominic Cruz, why did Munoz, why did Song Yadong, Rafant, even Chito Vera, even more so Corey Sandhagen, Merab Dvalishvili, even though that's a whole nother topic in a sense. Why was Sean O'Malley able at number 11, number 12 to fight for the number 1 contender spot against Petr Yan? You can say that nobody was available. That's understandable. Corey Sandhagen, I believe, was dealing with an injury. Cejudo was fighting Sterling. Chito Vera wasn't available. Or, Chito Vera also fought Sandhagen. There's multiple ways you can explain what happened. What I truly believe was the case is they wanted to fast track Sean O'Malley. I think that's obvious. Maybe you guys disagree with me, but if it were, let's say, Umar Nurmagomedov and Sean O'Malley wasn't available, Umar would have never got that shot. Umar would have never been gifted a number 1 contender fight, right? But Sean O'Malley was able to. Why? Because he has a name. Now we head over to the right and we see Bryce Mitchell. Again, I swear, I'm not the biggest Bryce Mitchell fan. And the reason why is, I like the whole Bible thing in the octagon trying to pray. That's cool. It's entertaining. The reason why I'm not the biggest fan of Bryce Mitchell is simply because I do believe his jiu-jitsu is exceptional. But he struggled against Dan Ige to take him down and then use it. And I think against the Arnold Allens, you saw what happened against Topuria, against Holloway. He's gonna struggle getting the fight down to the canvas, and that's why I'm not the biggest believer. What's up, Merchant? Welcome to the stream, man. Thank you for always coming through. I'm not the biggest believer in Bryce Mitchell because of his skill set. But at the end of the day, back to the comparison with Sean O'Malley. And Chris Faith, make sure you watch that one video that I put in chat. And if you left a well-thought comment over there, that'll help me. That'll be great. The thing with Bryce Mitchell that Evloev, I feel like most people don't even know who Evloev is. You see him, his name right here. Evloev, Giga, Calvin Kattar, Josh Emmett. Maybe even Ilya, but let's skip Ilya. Let's talk about the people above Mitchell. Evloev, Giga, Calvin Kattar, Josh Emmett. You ask, and I use this. I think this is one of the best examples. I don't care. You ask anyone walking down the street, if your life were on the line, and you had to ask someone walking down the street, hey, do you know who? A random person, not somebody that just walked out of a freaking MMA gym, or just a random person walking down the street, maybe in a coffee shop. You ask them, hey, do you know who Movsar Evloev is? Do you know who Giga Chikadze is? Calvin Kattar, Josh Emmett? If your life depended on it, I would assume you would bet. That they would say, no, I have no idea who those guys are. Never heard of them. Bryce Mitchell, after this weekend, that random person has a better chance of knowing who he is. If I had to bet who would they know more between a Bryce Mitchell or any of those names aforementioned, I would say it's Bryce Mitchell. He makes headlines. People know of him. Now, I know he was considering retirement after losing to Ilya Topuria. I understand that. I understand maybe emotionally he's all over the place. At the end of the day, he's a farmer. He's the farmer that raps, that trains chasing chickens in his farm, that holds a Bible up in the octagon, that wants to pray, that, donating $5,000 to Hawaii, that is trying to get Bisping to join him in prayer in the octagon. At the end of the day, I think it's going to be one of those things. Again, this is looking well into the future. I think Bryce Mitchell is going to be another one of those Sean O'Malley's that, I'm not saying skill-wise, I'm saying name-wise, He's going to be able to skip a couple names. I wouldn't be surprised if a year from now we see an announcement that says Bryce Mitchell versus Brian Ortega. Where the hell has Brian Ortega been is another question as well too. But nonetheless, just remember when I say this, Bryce Mitchell is ranked number 10. We'll see after the updated rankings on how they have him. Don't be surprised if he skips a bunch of names just like Sean O'Malley and goes from number 10 to fighting a number 1 or number 2 or number 3. I can see them matching up Brian Ortega and Bryce Mitchell. If I were to match up Bryce Mitchell in his next fight, that's the fight I want to see. 2 ground specialists, submission specialists, and Bryce Mitchell, Brian Ortega. Maybe both of their strikings isn't the best. Why not make that fight? I can see him maybe fighting an Arnold Allen and pulling it off, or a Calvin Kattar, but I like that Brian Ortega fight. Let's catch up with you. I'm done with those names, says Eddie. If you're talking about Movsar, Evloev, Giga, Chikadze, Calvin Kattar, those are some strange names, Eddie. A farmer that raps, so we're talking about Trey. Maybe that's why Trey relates to him so well. Trey loves him. I just had an epiphany. It all makes sense now. A farmer that raps, that is delusional, doesn't know how many chapters are in the book of Revelation, but holds a Bible in the octagon. I get it. It all makes sense. I'm still laughing at Shrek 26 saying, oh, I thought it was 26. Again, I'm just here we're going to have this catalog, this library, where we're going to go back and we're going to be able to see Miller was right. They're going to push Bryce Mitchell because the featherweight division is in desperate need. Max Holloway and Volkanovski have fought more than I've taken vacation days this year at work. Nobody wants to see that fight again. Nobody cares for that again. And what other name in the featherweight division is appealing? The only one I can think of is Ilia Topuria, and it seems like he's going to get the shot next. Maybe Volkanovski vacates the title, and I talked about that in my other video, but maybe Volkanovski vacates the title because he's getting a bit bored after maybe beating Topuria, or maybe even before that. You've seen him chomping at the bit that he wants that Islam Makhachev fight badly. He wants that rematch. He believes he could beat him. I can see him in the near future vacating the title. And if we're talking about Ilia Topuria, the only other name that has made a name for himself in the featherweight division is Bryce Mitchell at the end of the day. 267-545-8096 if you want to share your thoughts. Look at how the UFC has changed. At the beginning of 2023, it was Aljamain Sterling that had the title. Now Sean O'Malley. Usman was the champion that was lapping the division. Leon gets it done. He's now the champion. And now it's Colby versus Leon. Adesanya had the title and he was lapping the division as well. No one thought that Sean Strickland could get the job done besides maybe Plugs in our chat. What happened? Sean Strickland gets the job done. Over and over again, we've been seeing these guys that maybe aren't, I don't know, the favorites. Sean Strickland, Sean O'Malley, Leon Edwards. The changing of the guard. John Jones holds the title as well too. Alexa Grasso, maybe even she was gifted a decision. With that 10-8 round, it should have went to Shevchenko. The UFC, I think, is moving on. Right? And you see these new names. And when it comes to the featherweight division, that division is a little bit stagnant as well too. And that's why I'm just throwing it out there that Bryce Mitchell is going to be pushed. Not necessarily because he's the most skilled, even though his jiu-jitsu is exceptional. Some of the transitions that I saw him do against Dan Ige was special to watch. I will admit. Nonetheless, let's get to a topic that I've been dying to get to. Guys, I can't wait to debate with you guys. And even more so, I want to debate so badly that I'm going to open up the phone lines that you can call in live and not just leave a voicemail at 267-545-8096. I'll open them in a second. Let me first give you my prediction. Leon Edwards, Colby Covington. Let's catch up with chat and I'll give you my prediction. Bisping was catching heat for the whole Bryce post-fight interview. Was he? I feel he deserves it because they almost let anybody else do everything. Adesanya gave us like a 2-minute speech at the end of his fight. Granted, that was a main event title fight. when he beat Pereira. Volk is going for Islam for sure. Even some people think might be controversial. That listen, he might vacate, and we might see a Topuria versus Mitchell rematch for the title. You never know. I think that would be the best fight they can make for me. I would love to see that fight again. For some reason, I feel like Islam is not going to want it. Yeah, a lot of butthurt Christians says Snipey. Wait, Merchant, not yet. Volk beats Topuria, then we can talk about that. Maybe that happens before that. All right, guys. It's time to talk about Leon Colby, the most exciting topic that I think we have today. If you want to bring anything else up, that's fair. Leon Edwards, Colby Covington, guys. I must remind you. I apologize in advance. Forgive me. I must remind you. I picked Leon to beat Usman. What did I say? I'm sorry. Just bear with me before I get to my main point. What did I say? Leon, when he landed a head kick against Usman in Salt Lake City, some were saying, maybe even the majority were saying, Usman was winning 97% of that fight until the head kick landed. If it wasn't for that, Usman was cruising himself into a decision. Therefore, Usman is going to win the trilogy match. That is what most people were saying. I believe that's what Hito 609 was saying. I have the memory of an elephant. Hito remembers. He picked Usman to beat Leon. Many of you guys did too. What did I say? I said the elevation hurt Leon. He wasn't used to fighting up there. Come the third fight, Leon is gonna win by decision. What happened? Leon won by decision. Does the triangle theory work in MMA? Most of the time, no. Now what we're getting as far as the title fight is Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington, guys. And I will admit, it's a scary fight. If you're picking Leon to win, with the chain wrestling that Colby Covington has, I understand. Colby is a dangerous, formidable opponent. Yes, he lost to Usman twice. The first fight you could say was stopped a little bit early. Mark Goddard maybe jumped there a little bit too early. But nonetheless, Usman got the job done. They rematched. That fight was close as well too. Colby hasn't been the most active. Colby essentially maybe even doesn't deserve the title shot. That's fair. But he's getting it. And stylistically, it's a little bit worrisome. If you're picking Leon to win, the wrestling that Colby Covington exemplifies in the octagon is very different from Usman. He doesn't just go for a takedown and is explosive and that's it. And that's where it ends. He doesn't stop. His cardio is second to none. And if he takes Leon down to the canvas, it's gonna get scary because it's gonna happen over and over again. I'm here to tell you guys, Leon is new and improved. This is my official early prediction. Leon is new and improved, and this is where I'll open up the phone line. So 267-545-8096. I prefer if you guys are Colby fans or a fan that picks Colby to win, please do so. Please call. Please do so. We'll debate it. Leon, I think, has improved enough. He's going to nullify the takedowns of Colby Covington. Yeah, maybe Colby gets one early in the first round, second round. I think the striking is going to be the difference. Both fighters are standing out of the southpaw stance. And when it comes to striking, Colby doesn't match up with Leon. Leon has had a questionable chin. He has got stunned by Nate Diaz in that fight in the last few seconds. He even got hit by Usman a few times. That's fair. Some say that Colby Covington is a bad matchup for Leon. I say Leon is a bad matchup for Colby Covington. I think Leon is going to get the job done. I think he's going to be able to stay at range. He's going to pick Colby apart, bloody up his face a little bit, win majority of the rounds. If it's close, they could edge it to Colby Covington. I'll be fair. Does it benefit the UFC more that Colby Covington is champ? Will it sell more tickets in the future? Yes. But I'm going to put my money on Leon Edwards. I think he's going to outstrike Colby Covington. I think he's going to nullify the takedowns, keep him at bay, win maybe a boring fight, 3 rounds to 2, 4 rounds to 1. Leon Edwards would be and still 267 545 8096 if you have Colby Covington winning, and if you want to debate it a bit. Trey Melton in the building. He says a bunch of fanboys in here. You were mentioned quite a bit, Trey. Being one of those Bryce Mitchell fanboys, you were mentioned quite a bit. Osh, Big Juicy is here. Yo, Troy. The real show is here now. Listen, at the end of the day, Trey picked Bryce Mitchell to win. He got the job done. I thought it was a little bit gifted. 267 545 8096. Guys, I'm going to go all out for Leon. And I like Colby. I think he's entertaining. I think he's great for the UFC. People hate him because he's calling out countries like Brazil. He's talking about Jorge Masvidal's baby mom and how he's a bad father. Talking about people's wives. As far as Dustin Poirier, he takes it a bit too far. I'll admit. He does. He takes it a bit too far. It's a little bit even disgusting how far he takes it. But if you guys remember, he was going to be cut from the UFC, and he did what he had to do to not only stay in the UFC, but be one of the biggest stars. And even though he doesn't deserve the title shot, he's getting it because of simply his trash talking. And imagine, there's going to be Colby Covington, Paddy Pimblett, and Tony Ferguson in the same press conference. I wanted it to be John Jones. That would have been fun to see them having a good back and forth. Not going to happen. Not gonna happen. That sucks a little bit. Colby Covington has been accusing John Jones of where he says he can't prove it or something along those lines. But at the end of the day, John Jones didn't want to be on the same fight card as Colby Covington. Do we believe him? Is he telling the truth? I can see why John Jones maybe doesn't want to be in the same press conference as Colby. Maybe John Jones didn't care. Maybe that's Colby Covington selling a fight like he usually does, or promoting himself. That might be fair. I think Leon crumbles later in the fight, says Eddie. Why so? You think he's going to get tired? The conditioning of and the wrestling of Colby is going to be too much? We have our first caller. It's a 609 caller. I believe that's Hito. Let's see what he has to say.
Call from
Hito 609.
to accept, press 1. To send a voicemail,
even the way he said his name,
2.
you could tell he's amped up. There's going to be a Colby nut hugging fest right here. Here we go. Hito 609, welcome to the stream.
What's up? What's up? So, I guess we want to talk about the whole Colby versus Leon thing.
If you're picking Colby, enlighten me.
So, and I actually agree with Henry Cejudo. He talked about it too. He also has Colby Covington winning, and it was more so
That's
how
your first mistake. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So it's how Usman approached that second fight. I think he was trying to strike with him too much, and I think Colby's not going to do that. He's got one style only. He's going to use it, and I don't think he's going to play any games with Leon. He's going to take him down. He wants that belt. I really think Colby's going to win this. Think about, and like I think Usman, for whatever other reason, like, you know, I don't think he utilized his wrestling as much the second time. I know you think Leon, like, you know, defended takedowns, but I don't think Colby's one of those guys that's going to let it get to his head. Think about how much he hated Jorge Masvidal, but he didn't strike with him that much. He took that guy down and just wrestled him for 5 rounds or 4 rounds or 3 rounds or whatever it was. But I think Colby is going to stick to his style and get the easy dub.
Can I tell you why you're wrong?
Shoot.
Did you mention the Usman and Colby Covington fight? I'm sorry, the Usman and Edwards fight, how kind of like Usman chose to strike with him?
The second one.
Right. How he chose to strike with him and that was a mistake, right? Could it be that was his only choice because Leon he got so good at nullifying the takedowns that Usman couldn't take the fight to the ground? So
if he was so good, then why didn't Usman owe him the first time? He had to get knocked out in the 5th to lose. So I mean, like I don't think Usman executed his game plan properly. I don't think Leon is that great to stop a great wrestler like that. I mean, I think he's good, but I think if Colby's going to want to take him down, and if that's his game plan, he's going to stick to it. I think he's going to do it.
He stopped Usman in the 3rd fight with the takedowns, correct?
The second fight.
No,
Was it the
I'm
second?
talking about the trilogy fight though. The very last fight. Usman tried to take the fight to the ground and he wasn't able to.
Yeah, so shit happens, right? I don't think
Right.
I don't think he's this excellent takedown. Like, I mean, I don't think he's gonna be able to do it to everybody. I think Colby is gonna be able to take him down personally. Me personally, I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah.
he's gonna shut down Colby, and I think Colby's actually gonna stick to his game plan. He's not gonna pull a Usman. He's not gonna pull a Aljo. He's gonna stick to his game plan and he's gonna execute. And once he gets him down, that's game over for Leon.
Let me ask you this. It's a serious question. I'm not like because I know I'm annoying. Serious question. What if Colby is not able to take the fight to the ground and get takedown after takedown? Does he have a chance even then or no?
No, standing up, no.
Okay.
No, he won't standing up. But I just think I think Colby's gonna spam takedowns, and it's either gonna be it's probably gonna be a boring fight, maybe more than likely. You know, it's more likely gonna be a boring win for Colby. The fun's gonna be the press conference.
It might be the same way it was Colby versus RDA, where Colby just took him down round after round. I just think at this point in Leon's career, he's gonna see that coming. He's the better striker for sure. Leon, all he has to do is nullify the takedowns. That's really all he has to do. And that might be easier said than done, but he was able to do that against Usman in the third fight.
Yeah, one time.
Colby Covington isn't as strong maybe as Usman. Maybe the chain wrestling is as good. But Leon is going to stop these takedowns.
He did that one time. You were here like, you know, if you fight somebody 9 times out of 10, well, he got the 9th one, so I don't know what to tell you.
Colby's striking isn't the worst either. He clipped Usman a few times, which is fair. Like, I feel like maybe sometimes people are, and this is even me picking Leon, are maybe overlooking Colby's striking. He can, when you have your opponents worried about the takedown, then you can start landing some big looping, hooks as well too, like he did against Usman. Speaking of Colby, that could very well be the case. Leon hasn't lost in like 8 years. Yes, he's a little bit boring. He stutters behind the mic in the press conference. Colby is highly entertaining, but I will extend an invitation to you, Hito, that if you want to lose some money, as far as $15-20 on Leon versus Colby, if you feel that confident about Colby, I'm extending that invitation to you, because there's nothing I love more than taking your money. And I know another thing, you pay. Trey Melton doesn't pay.
Yeah, you know what? I took inspiration from Bryce Mitchell, and I'm really taking I'm throwing away my gambling days.
Okay.
His message hit home to me. So, but you know what? We'll do like a friendlier bet without wagers. We can maybe something a little bit more embarrassing.
We can do push-ups or something like that, where you have to maybe send the video, and we'll talk about it. But what is your final prediction for Colby versus Leon and how that fight is going to play out?
Colby, my hope is Colby by TKO. And here's my prediction: Colby TKO 3rd round. That's my final prediction.
That's another thing too. Colby isn't really that much of a finisher. Let me look it up real quick. Colby Covington record. That's the one thing that frustrates me about Colby as well, is that when he takes someone down, he's not the most offensive with his jiu-jitsu as well either. Look at all his fights. I'll show you guys on the screen right now. This is Colby. He got a rear naked choke against Jonathan Munier in 2016 and against Max Griffin in 2016. Was that his last finish? Yes. He doesn't finish fights.
I was laughed at when I said Sean O'Malley's 2nd round knockout. I was laughed at then when I said that. Oh wait, for the guy that's always wrong, I nailed that one.
And I picked 3rd round, so I was close.
And then snap! Then it was like, dang, is Sean Strickland going to win this? No, it's impossible. I'm pretty sure only me and Plugs were the one that picked Sean Strickland, right?
Did he pick Sean Strickland to win?
Shut up.
You picked by knockout though, didn't you? Brooklyn, welcome to the stream.
I was close. I was close.
I'm pretty sure you picked by knockout. Again, I got the memory.
The ref should have jumped in.
Listen,
crazy.
You got lucky. Those are what, 2 predictions right out of the hundreds that you've had. So
way more than 2.
So
anytime
you say
Paddy, I'm right. Anytime I pick Paddy, I'm right. So that's just line that up right there.
And he got gifted a decision as well too. Speaking of Paddy against Jared Gordon,
I'm right.
You say Colby Covington 3rd round TKO finish?
3rd round TKO finish. Yep, I agree. That's what. Mark it down. That's what's gonna happen.
I say, wow. Now that I think about it, I want to say Leon decision. I might go Leon knockout.
Leon knockout what round?
4th round.
Yeah, probably try some Hail Mary. That's what you were wishing on.
No,
All right.
I could see him nullifying the takedowns. Colby Covington getting a little bit frustrated. Leon landing some big shots in the first couple of rounds. Finally, in the 4th round, catches him and puts him out for good. I can see that happening.
Well, do another prediction video like you did for Leon before, and then we'll have it on paper.
All right, that's fair. I'll do
All
so. Any last thoughts? Hito 609, thank you for the call. Any last thoughts on that fight?
Nope, that's all I got. I'll talk to you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate Hito 609 for the call. We're accepting live callers 267-545-8096. I have Leon Edwards winning against Colby Covington at 296. It's the most interesting topic that we have to debate right now. I have Leon winning. If you think differently, 267-545-8096. Brooklyn Buff says Leon will dominate. Listen, Colby's going to win. Colby's going to win the press conference. Colby's going to be funny. He's going to have Trump in the stands. He says that he feels Trump's dragon energy, which for one, pause. Two, that's not going to help him in the octagon. Yes, he's going to be maybe even get under Leon's skin a little bit. But when they lock that cage, when Leon's in there, and if Colby Covington does it now, if he's able to take Leon down at will, which I don't think is going to happen, if that does happen, okay, he's going to cruise into a decision. Fair enough. You saw Leon stop the takedown against Usman. It essentially became a striking match. Usman versus Covington was the same thing. Covington wasn't able to take down Usman. Usman wasn't able to take down Covington. They kind of canceled each other out in the wrestling department. So what happens? It essentially becomes a striking match. If it essentially becomes a striking match with Leon and Covington, I think the no-brainer pick to have is Leon. What are the early odds too as well? Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington. We have another call. Early odds. It's a Edwards is a -115. We have another caller. Here we go.
Call from
The Source.
Sorry guys in
to
advance.
accept, press
Leon
1.
and
To send a voicemail,
will win.
press
If Colby is able to get a hold of him, it will be a long night for Leon for sure. I agree. I don't think it's going to happen. We have on the line none other than my son, Trey Melton. And guys, thank you guys for tuning in. You know, I'm the source. I'm the one who gets it done. But we have Trey Melton on the line. What's up, Trey?
Here he goes, biting my style again. I mean, that was just painful to listen to right there. I mean, seriously, I had to tell my girl, hey, wake me up after this guy gets off the phone because this is the most boring phone call I've ever heard in my life. I mean, it makes me absolutely sick. Hito, listen, if you don't have enough money to bet anymore, just say it, brother. You don't got to make up some lame excuse, pal. If you've been losing, just say it. It's okay. It's okay. There's poor people out there. Look at Chris Faith. You and him are in the same boat right now.
Is that really what it is? He just does that. He's lost all his gambling money. Is that what it is?
He's talking about, oh, I'm taking up some Bryce Mitchell. I'm actually going to start gambling something different. I mean, what are we talking? Just tell me, listen, you're not good at gambling. Just stop as a whole, okay? You don't need to be losing nothing else. No push-ups or anything. Even though he does need to do some push-ups. Here's the deal, though. It makes me absolutely sick that you just sit here.
Right.
Or stands, or I'm not even really sure. Sorry, I'm not sure what you're doing right now. Whether you're sitting or standing, and you're talking to the camera, and you're going to tell me all these things about Leon, and then talk about how, oh, I'm sure you guys thought he was losing the fight and all this stuff, and then he beat him. But Miller, just save me with your little corny arc you're trying to do. Okay, I see right through it, pal. You're talking about one of the most vicious, one of the most prolific, the biggest all-time Trump's boy, one of the biggest fighters in the UFC, and it makes me absolutely sick that you can sit here and think that Leon Edwards could even stand a chance against Colby Covington. Leon is an absolute bum. He never did anything. He has one kick in a fight that he was losing for 4.5 rounds. He was losing for 4.5 rounds, and he got the luckiest kick of his entire life and beat Usman. Now, You want to give him all this hype and stuff for beating Usman. Well,
let
who
me
beat Usman?
let
Who
me
beat
cut you off.
Usman before? No. Who
Two-
beat Usman before? Well, Colby Covington beat Usman. We all know this. We've seen it. He got robbed.
Didn't he get stopped in the first fight?
He got robbed worse in history than we've ever seen in our entire life. When he should have beat Usman, they didn't give it to him. It makes me absolutely sick. But you're gonna sit here and you're gonna tell me that Leon's gonna take him out? Miller, where is he better than him at? He's not better striking. He's not better in grappling. He's not better on the ground. He's not better in the clinch. He's not better up against the fence. Yes, he is.
You think Colby's better than Leon in the striking department?
Yes. Miller,
he got outstruck by Usman.
His pace is not better. His stamina is not better. Miller, Leon was getting outstruck by Usman.
He got outstruck by
Miller. Leon got outstruck by Usman. What the heck are you talking about? Why is everybody acting like Leon is some great striker, some great just martial artist that does these crazy things? He don't do nothing exciting. He throws ones and twos. What the heck are y'all talking about?
Trey, two things because I couldn't get past it. Number one, it obsessed me that you use adjectives like prolific when you don't even know how to spell that word. That's number one. Number two, you keep bringing up the Usman fight, the second one where he lands a lucky head kick. You know they fought a third time, right? And Leon won that fight.
I don't care. Everybody knows when we saw Usman come out there, he looked like a completely different person. Didn't even look the same. Nobody even is taking Usman serious anymore. I don't think Usman will win his next fight, whoever he fought. He looks that bad. I mean, obviously, he's with the worst coach in freaking history. He's with the absolute cornball bum, Smiley McGee. Freaking got Rose Namajunas looking like a cornball. You know what I'm saying? He just has all his fighters looking like a cornball besides Justin Gaethje right now. He's finally going on a little tear. But don't sit here and tell me and hype up Leon beating Usman and all this stuff when Colby is the one who actually dogs Usman, the one who beat him before, and should have got the credit for that. Bro, Colby is going to run circles around Leon. It's not even going to be close, Miller. He's going to dog him. He's going to push him up against the fence. He's going to grapple him, take him up, ground and pound him. It is going to be so bad.
Why wasn't Usman able to do that?
Listen, it might be unanimous. He really might win it 5-0. I'm not even joking.
Why wasn't Usman able to get him down to the canvas and do all these things that Colby's going to be able to do? Even though
Usman just looked awful. And what do you mean? We all seen this. He looked.
That's no credit to Leon. That's no credit to Leon.
No, Leon. What did Leon do, Miller? Please tell me what Leon did that was some magical recipe that stopped Usman. What did he do? Stop
the takedowns. I remember reviewing this fight. Again, that's what we do best. I remember stopping the takedowns. I remember him landing some beautiful uppercuts that his coach was calling for, landing the more significant strikes. Usman couldn't get going because Leon is a better striker. And Usman outstruck Colby Covington. I mean, I know triangle theories aren't the best, but if Usman outstrikes Colby Covington, what do you think Leon is going to do?
Right
the only path to victory.
I'm not going to sit here and listen to that. Colby Covington's never been outstruck.
Trey, the only path to victory that Colby Covington has against Leon Edwards is wrestling. Can we admit that he's not going to outstrike Leon Edwards? He's not going to outstrike him.
Yes, he is. He's going to outpace him and outstrike him and throw him up against the fence and grapple with him. Bro, it's going to be a dirty fight. It's going to be a little dog fight. They're not going to be standing there bouncing around. Bro, Usman will stand there and bounce around and let people have distance and do all that stuff and then throw two punches and then try.
Usman has more power than Covington.
That don't work, bro. Everybody knows Usman gets 90% of his takedowns because of his strength, not because of his technique. Colby has the technique, bro.
Ooh, now. How long you been on this phone call? Because it's about time you give one. You've been on the phone call for 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Finally,
I'm the source. I'm the king. I'm the one to get the
finally.
I'm not new to this. I'm true to this.
Me being unbiased, Umar. Look, you're right. The wrestling is different, which I'm glad you brought up. Usman, it comes from strength. The wrestling aspect, as far as their approach, is different. Colby Covington, he chain wrestles and he goes for takedown after takedown. That could perhaps wear down Leon Edwards. Can you talk a little bit more about that, on how the wrestling is different, if you have any insight on that?
What do you mean how the wrestling is different? Everybody knows it's different. Bro, here's the thing. You comparing him to freaking Usman this is a completely different fight. Colby fights very awkward, like comes in, changes his stances, like doing all the different stuff, right?
No, that's fair.
You're gonna sit here and tell me that you think that Leon is going to piece him up exactly how he pieced up Usman, you are absolutely on crack if you think that, Miller.
Listen, I think that's gonna happen. Give me 1 second. I just gotta change the battery on my camera. You can keep talking nonsense. 1 second.
I'll talk if I want to. You don't tell me when to keep talking and when not to keep talking. I mean, honestly, I've sat here for 30 seconds. I got freaking people hitting me up saying, "Where are you? I want you to call in." All this stuff. This show's so boring. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad, Miller. I come in, I hear 0 good takes. Finally, I get on the phone call after an incredibly boring phone call before me, and then I come on here and drop some actual knowledge. That's why people call me the source. That's why people call me the king, the one who gets it done, Mr. Intel. Nobody says anything about you like that. In fact, they invite you to other leagues, not even the UFC. I'm getting inside sources from the UFC. You're going to leagues I've never even heard of before, okay? So I mean, there is absolute levels to this.
Listen, Trey, that all sounds good. Apologize for that minor inconvenience, ladies and gentlemen. That all sounds good, but I don't remember the last time you got a prediction right. Besides the Bryce Mitchell, before that, nothing. I do
really,
feel
that's so weird. I know Bryce Mitchell won again this week. I mean, and it's crazy how all my guys
which is
title
debatable.
shots. I mean, Sean Strickland has got the title shot. Sean O'Malley, who you slurp all the time now, who you used to hate, now you act like you're a little fanboy of him. He's got the title now. I mean, it's like my boy Colby Covington getting a title shot now. I mean, it's incredible, and you're going to act like he doesn't deserve it and all this stuff when he beat Usman one time, but we don't have to talk about that. But, I mean, it just makes me absolutely sick that you want to sit up here and just flip-flop like a little pancake waffle boy that you are.
It's debatable whether Bryce Mitchell actually won that fight. Can we be honest?
What?
It's debatable. I thought that Ige won the first 2 rounds.
3 times in the eye? Miller, this is what I'm saying, and you really need to check your heart and pray about this. You're really starting to choose the dark side. You were really choosing the devil Saturday, rooting against the Lord and his disciple, and now you're going to sit here and you're still going to choose against them and still going to. I mean, do you see what you're doing here? Did you go to church yesterday? And you're muted if you're still talking. I can't hear you.
No, I was just giving you time to spew your nonsense. I thought Ige had it 2 rounds to 1. There we go. Fixed it. Bang.
What? Miller, what 2 rounds did he win?
You know, Bryce Mitchell had ground control time towards the end, and that's about it of each round.
He took him down.
And where was the damage?
Slammed him one round.
Wow, he slammed him on a canvas that's not freaking concrete, which he didn't do nothing with afterwards. Yeah, he had some submission attempts. That's about it. If anything,
what is he supposed to?
I might have to make a video that fight was a robbery.
No, this is what I'm saying. You just want to talk crazy about anything that doesn't make sense. He ended every single round on top. So I mean, there's a sign. Ige hit him like 3 times in the eye. Congrats. He was landing body kicks on Ige, going for takedowns, having him up against the fence. Bro, I'm not.
You know what I don't like?
Start yelling, and I can't even yell right now.
You know what I don't like? That you say things like Ige only landed 3 times, as if these things are true. You just throw that out there. Let's look at the significant strikes. Actually, I don't like what I see right now.
Oh wow!
Hold on.
Does it support your case? Okay,
hold on.
Yeah,
there's no way this is. There's no way that this is true. You ready for this? How is significant strikes Bryce Mitchell 23 out of 40 and then Ige 18 out of 55? How? Look, they're even.
He only landed like 3 headshots, Miller.
They're even swaying the numbers as far as strikes to benefit Mitchell. I don't remember Bryce Mitchell landing anything.
Miller, here, this is the thing, you know what I'm saying? This is the difference between a casual little fanboy cornball who knows nothing about fighting and an absolute true professional, the source, the king, the one who gets it done, Mr. Intel watches a fight. I see things that people can't. I'm the inside source. I know the fight game. You just watch and say, oh, look how, I think he hit him kind of hard right there. His head went back a little bit. You be saying stuff like that.
I mean, according to the UFC,
That's why you get the little fanboys in here that you do that blow smoke up your butt and talk about, oh, that was cool. I think this person won. And they're wrong 90% of the time. I mean, there's a bunch of idiots in here that know nothing about fighting. Now, I sit here and I try to tell you about this every single week, and nobody wants to listen to me. How many more times do I have to be right about this sport?
He outstruck him in the second. I mean, it was only 8-5, and the 14-10 in the first round. It must have been pity pat punches on the ground in the last minute of the first round, because Ige, again, damage trumps all, right? According to the UFC, according to the rule set, and if that's the case, there's no way you give that fight to Bryce Mitchell. It was close. I'll admit it was close. It could have went maybe either way.
If that's the case, then Nate Diaz should have lost 90% of his fights. Can you just tell me what 2 rounds did Ige win?
The first and the second.
He didn't win definitely not the third round. So let's go ahead and take that out. You think you won the first 2 rounds?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my
Bryce Mitchell didn't get a takedown until like the last minute and a half. Yes, absolutely, no question. Absolutely.
They were running around. He didn't even touch him, bro.
Oh, well, let me read a couple messages in the chat, Trey, real quick.
No, I don't care what none of them little fanboys saying there. They don't got nothing valuable to say.
Oh, look, somebody defending you. TBF for Trey. Leon almost got knocked out by a washed-up Nate Diaz. That should say something about Leon's striking game, says Merchant. He got a little lazy at the end. That's all it was, Merchant. Snipey says the fight should be unlimited rounds.
He was getting outstruck by Usman in that fight and landed a lucky head kick. Usman's never been the same since then. I mean, it just is what it is, bro.
There's a good amount of people that agree with you. Don Shop says the head kick saved him from losing. Look, there's some people. This guy talks about money and don't pay $20 back. That is true. Eddie Rodriguez says Ashtray wants all the smoke.
That's not true at all. I don't owe anybody anything.
You do owe me $20. Atypical says I don't see Colby losing against Edwards, and I can't wait for Colby to beat Champ, says Atypical. Gonna spice things up a bit. Wow, there are people in the chat that are picking your side for once. Didn't you cry that you didn't go to Combat FC? He did cry. We do have that on voicemail, by the way, Hito.
I could care less about going to that.
Embarrassing drink voice. I thought you weren't calling anymore. Trey is just a habitual liar. Can we go back to Leon versus Colby before I hang up on you?
Yeah, let me just give you a rundown, and I'm done here. Here's the deal.
Right, here we go.
You're an absolute moron. Everybody sees right through it. We've known this for years. Ever since we started the podcast, and I've been doing this, I've sat up here week in and week out and schooled you on fighting every single time. I've told you about the fight game, and you've taken some of the fight game. I give you props for that. You've taken some of the fight game from me, and now you applaud those guys, and you give them guys their roses, such as Sean O'Malley and all them, and you cheer for them. And finally, you'll start to overcome with those other guys and just start being a little fanboy and follow my lead and start liking the other fighters I like and everything too. But of course, people are gonna agree with me, Miller.
I think people are just Colby fans.
The one that gets it done. What?
I think people are just Colby fans. He has swayed them that they want him to win because
because everybody was talking about how everybody hated Colby and everything, but.
No,
I think he's the biggest jerk. He's Trump's boy. Nobody likes him. All this stuff. He's a douchebag. Everything. Now people are just Colby fans. Wow, here we go. Here's the flip flop. Here's the waffle. Here's the pancake Miller that he does. He loves to go back and forth on what he believes and how he thinks about everything.
I think in my chat, and maybe this is a good thing, we have a lot of Republicans. We have a lot of guys that work hard for their money, want to pay less taxes, so they're gonna sway with Colby Covington. I will say that, Trey. I need you to do me one favor, please, just one. You owe me $20 is the least you could do.
I don't owe you a daggum thing. Now stop saying that, or I'm getting you for defamation.
I need you to do me one simple favor, please. I need you to do me one favor. I need you to open up the stream because people there's just a video of you that I wasn't aware of that has just crossed that just came across my desk.
You think I'm gonna sit here and do this little bull crap where you have your little family say, "Oh, play this for me, Miller. Play this video." I'm not sitting here and doing this little bull crap with y'all. Y'all aren't gonna get y'all's little fanboy stuff out the way.
This is Trey Melton live in the flesh, guys. Check it out.
It's hilarious. He wants to sit here and talk about what's Trey do, all this stuff, and now he's sitting here texting me every day. I love wedgies, bro. Wedgies are so cool, man. Talking about golf with me and everything. You're nothing but a little fanboy, a little phony for the cameras and for the stream. It's hilarious what I see through all this stuff. You and Miller are the same exact guy. Y'all just cupcake each other and blow smoke up each other's butts and be little boyfriends in front of everybody. Everybody sees right through this. I'm not doing this. I'm not watching no video. I'm not listening to anything. You're not going to play no video while I'm sitting here talking. So I'm hanging up the sources out. The game.
How did he feel so comfortable about twerking on live
Colby
camera?
Covington is going to win. Miller's an absolute bum. If he's standing up and sitting down, I have no idea. You guys are a bunch of fanboys. The sources out.
Of course he hung up. He got scared. There you guys have it. Trey's picking Colby Covington. I'm surprised that most of you guys picked Colby Covington to win for 296. I thought, I could maybe sway some people, but I respect that most of you guys, have your own opinions and don't let me sway you guys. Most of you guys are picking Colby Covington. I respect that. Let's catch up with chat. Oh, real quick though, before we catch up with chat, this guy twerks on camera? That's bad. That's bad. I mean, Jesus, man. Video after video. Look, I don't even want to talk about that anymore, guys. That's a bad one. Snipey says, make it clap. The people need to know, says Hito. Merchant says, I hate Colby Miller. Come on. He's a facade. That is Twitter counter level. LOL. What? Okay, well, maybe not you, but most in chat have Colby Covington winning. And if we put the antics to the side, does Colby Covington have a good chance? I believe I brought up the early odds. Colby Covington versus Leon early odds. The early odds are pretty damn close by OddsShark per our odds calculator. Edwards is a -115 status, equates to a win probability of 53.49. It's a 50-50 fight. It's a 50-50 fight. Now, I'm still disappointed about the whole Trey thing, man. That's pretty bad. Bravo, Trey. Do you do bachelor parties? The man is a walking pause. I mean, it might be worse than Hito saying, are you going to teach me something? Did you guys see that? Did you guys see the vlog? That was a little bit bad as well, too. Guys, we have had a fun. If nobody calls in the next minute, we're gonna end this stream. We've been live for an hour and 35 minutes. So guys, thank you guys for the entertainment, for some good MMA discussion. #1 commentary channel on YouTube. Leon versus Colby was the main topic. We're gonna be doing another live stream tonight around 7 p.m. where we discuss more MMA. And we talk about the news that was released. Adesanya drinking and driving. He might be the new John Jones. I don't know. We'll see. Colby Covington, whether he beats Leon Edwards, Prohaska and Pereira, we didn't talk about well enough. And whatever other topics you guys want to bring up, we can discuss tonight. So make sure if you guys have anything that you guys want to focus on, that you guys let me know on Discord or Twitter, wherever, about what you would like to talk about tonight. We'll be accepting live call-ins. Merchant says, caught in 4K. I mean, this guy Trey, man, a walking pause. Merchant says, I hate Colby. Do you have Leon winning, though, Merchant? Is the question. Guys, thank you for another fun stream. #1 commentary channel on YouTube. We discussed a lot today. We do have a live caller, so let's see what we have. Hold on. Let's see what we have.
Call from
Hito 609.
Here we go. Hito, welcome back to the stream. What's up, my guy?
I gotta just put some. I gotta put this guy Trey in his place just real quick.
Oh, here we go.
Don't talk to me about money. That's the one. You cannot talk to me about money. I literally heard you struggle about spending $300 in like a month for golfing. That I do double that on DoorDash, and I have receipts to prove it. Like, kid, you see what you drive, Trey Melton? Do not ever talk to me about money.
1987.
He got the Toyota Corolla from 1987. The fabric on the top is hanging out. The glue is not even holding it no more.
Damn, that's a bad look.
Stay out of my face when you're talking to me about money. I just don't want to be stealing. $20 don't excite me, guys. Here's the thing: a $20 bet does nothing for me. I'd rather embarrass you than win $20. What am I going to do with that? That didn't even cover one of my DoorDash meals. This guy's crazy.
He still owes me $20. This is I promise, hand on the Bible, he still owes me $20.
Guy is wild, fucking broke. That's all I gotta say. Have a good day.
There you have it, guys. Hito 609. The thing about Hito is that you can hear his blood pressure rising when he calls in. If you guys didn't notice, you can tell when he gets flustered. And Trey, does Trey get under his skin? Absolutely. Does Trey owe me $20? Absolutely. I got Colby winning by split decision. Miller. Why so, Merchant? Why so? The wrestling? I just don't see how people think that Colby striking, if Colby doesn't get it to the ground, is gonna come out on top. I'm gonna say Leon by knockout, guys. The more I think about it, the more I like it, guys. Again, people have called me crazy before. Remember when I was calling Derek Lewis a gatekeeper? What were people saying? This guy's crazy. Derek Lewis is gonna destroy Tai Tuivasa. I was right. The Sean O'Malley thing versus Aljamain Sterling. I've been criticized for picking the underdog before. Leon is not even an underdog. It's a 50-50 fight. Leon, for the past couple of years, has been training. Remember, he was supposed to fight Hamza Chimaev before fighting Usman. So he was working on his wrestling pre-pandemic. That fight got canceled, Hamza Chimaev versus Leon Edwards, because of the pandemic, because he wasn't able to get to the States. He has been working on his wrestling. I know Colby's wrestling is different, and he's going to chain wrestle round after round after round. He's explosive, and I could be wrong. That very first round, Colby Covington goes for a takedown, and he actually gets it. I might be biting my words. Man, I think Leon is going to come out on top, and it's gonna almost feel good when we look back on this and all these Colby fans that are in chat are wrong. Feel pretty strongly about that. Put your paycheck up. Wouldn't even. You can tell her was trying to add bass to his voice when he talked right there.
Yo, shout out to Caesar, man.
Guys, let me vent a little bit. It's towards the end of the stream, guys. We've been coming out with the shorts. We came out with a vlog. We came out with a video yesterday. We're adding all these elements. Videos, shorts, vlogs, live streams. We're doing it all. If I could just ask you guys to help me out with ideas on what I should do next. And go leave a comment on this video, because engagement helps the algorithm. The vlog has 1.1K views. I think that's because it got a lot of comments. So go leave a comment over there. Let me catch up with chat. I'll Discord my chat. Don't worry, I know you won't. I'll see you exit the chat now. Merchant says chain wrestle in the first few rounds, may stand up in the later rounds when imagine Leon does get gassed and then Colby starts landing some big strikes. Typical wrestler fight depends on how Colby approaches a fight. If he stands up in the first round, he might get KO'd, absolutely. But he might chain wrestle, might wear him out a little bit in the beginning before landing a big shot. Guys, go leave a comment over there. 7 p.m. live stream, #1 commentary channel on YouTube. I'm gonna get out of here. Appreciate the love, appreciate the support. We'll be back at 7 p.m. tonight. Peace.